Thank you.
I'm Alison. I'm Jade's foster carer. Jade came to live with me when she was 5 months old. When I got the call, they just said, we've got a baby, she's really poorly, she's dying. Don't know much about her. We don't know if she's got any eyes because she's never opened them. When she's sick out of her eye sockets, and that's all I was told. And my girls at the time were 13 and 8, so I discussed with them, how it would work for them if we took a child in that was going to die imminently. And certainly when she came in, she was very poorly. I can only describe, it sounded like the death rattle. I worked with old folk and dementia in Rigmore Hospital and end of life. Took her into Rigmore the night she came because she was really poorly. Again, they wouldn't do anything, not even antibiotics. We had 11 failed discharges from hospital. They kept sending her home. 2-3 weeks later, I've got the letter saying pneumonia, bronchiolitis, and they'd done nothing. It came to about 2 months after I got her, and I got the flu, and she got the flu, so I wasn't allowed in to see her for 3 days. And in that time, she was only £9.7 at this stage, but she'd lost 2.5 pounds in weight. And they'd been dosing her up morphine to help her pass, was their words. Didn't tell social work, didn't tell me, didn't tell her parents. There was awful fights with Rigmore, wouldn't do anything, no resuscitation, no help to prolong her life is what they said. And that went on for probably the first 2 years. She didn't sleep more than an hour out of 24 hours. She was in a lot of pain, couldn't digest food. She was on high-calorie baby milk. And that made her very, very sick. She was drinking 20 mils every couple of hours. Most of that came back up. So she just didn't put on weight. Until we got to the stage, we got a bad batch of the prescribed milk. So my GP said to give her baby milk, which I gave her Aptamil Comfort. And in that first week, she started drinking 150 mils, stopped being sick. All the pain had stopped, and she put on 2 pounds in weight. So then proceeded the fight with the dietitians, because the dietitian said she had to have high-calorie milk or she wouldn't put on weight. She never did it. So I got the GP involved. My GP has been amazing from day one. And they agreed we could leave her on Aptamil Comfort milk for a reflux. And that helped with the constipation, it helped with the reflux, stopped the sickness, stopped the pain. And then we tried solid food, but she couldn't digest anything more than baby milk. It was then suggested to try an osteopath, which I'd never heard of before, but she was our saving grace, Lady Tatiana Castro in Inverness. And after that first session, I thought she'd snapped her neck. She was so floppy, so chilled, and she slept 16 hours straight after a clear out of the bowel. All over a Jehovah's Witness that came to my door and wouldn't take no for an answer, all over his feet, so we left quite promptly. But since seeing Tatiana, we were seeing her weekly for about 6 months, and then that decreased to fortnightly, monthly, and now it's just whenever she's been poorly. We've had a few issues with Rigmore Hospital, and Jade nearly died in hospital, and then, well, she's died anyway, what do you expect? So we've avoided the hospital up until last year for 10 years. Health-wise, she's been, touch wood, she's been really good up until last year. Although from the age of 5, she started with some cysts on her scalp. There were 7 on her scalp and 5 on her back spine area. But I think the scalp ones are all interlinked. One would grow, it would be huge, it would pop, the rest would disappear. But they all tie in with the flu virus. So from October to March, she has a maintenance dose of antibiotics. And that seems to help. Anytime she's got a flu virus, the cysts come back. Starting this year in January, every month to the date, we've had another huge cyst that they've had to be drained. On her tummy, she's had 3, 2 in her spine, 1 in her shoulder blade, and they've had to be excised and drained and packed. There was a query, we got a new paediatrician who did a lot of research on Patau, and he's been amazing. Because Jade's always had headaches, the last paediatrician just said, well, she's not going to live, there's no point checking. Even if we find something, they won't do anything, so there's no point. But Gavin, our new one, has been really proactive, done lots of blood tests. We then realised she lacked iron. She had basically no iron in her system. So the last 18 months she's been on a high dose of iron and B12, which has made a massive difference to the hair growth and just her overall well-being. Starting in January this year, we think it's the start of puberty. The big cyst started, although the last 2 months we've not had any. But her iron levels are back to where they should be for the first time. And we don't know how long, because it was never checked before. Any infection she gets, she fights off better than anybody else. she goes into power sleep mode and she'll sleep 24 to 36 hours straight. And she wakes up and she's right as rain. Her weight is a big issue. The dietitian, I'm following up with the dietitian all the time. And Jade eats mountains. She eats anything and everything. But she never sits at peace. So she doesn't really put on any weight as such. She's now 22 kilos. And that goes up and down between 17 and 22.4 quite often. We got her up to 24 kilos at Christmas time. They've since upped. She's got prescribed high-calorie fortisip milk now at night. They've upped it to 3. But that's made her quite sick. So we're just sort of playing with it at the moment. I've asked the lovely ladies here, see if we can get a growth chart for Batau's children because it's completely different. And I had this fight with the last paediatrician when she was little because the scale was much lower. And she's well within the Batau range, the American one, but not normal range for 14. This is the argument we keep having. She's not the size of a 14-year-old. And she's more the size of my 7-year-old grandson. So if she goes within that sort of ranges, she is within range. She's extremely active. She does standing transfers now. Can't hoist her. I'm in trouble all the time for lifting her because she escapes from the sling. We've had every rep in the UK come, do purpose-made slings for her. And she'll sit there like a wee star. Look at me. I'm brilliant. And you get this dirty laugh and she's flipped upside down, hanging by her neck. And she's roaring and laughing. She loves swimming. But she was banned from the pool at school for 5 years because they couldn't safely transfer her. They dropped her twice with 5 staff, wrapped in 3 towels like a banana to lift her in and out of the pool, and she still managed to escape. But she absolutely loves it. She's got a new teacher last year and the same one this year, and she's gone in the pool with her, no bother whatsoever. Her and one PSA have been helping, and she just adores it. So she now knows to lie back in the pool and she'll keep her face out of the water. But her party trick is put her head back, fill her eyes with water. And the ones that don't like her touching her eyes, she'll stick her fingers in or fill them with milk. She still only drinks my baby's bottle, specialist teat one, but she fills the eyes with milk. And every morning you've got curdled milk coming out. She likes to help when you're changing and dressing by nipping and biting and spinning like the exorcist. Or if she's pooed, again, she sticks her hands in and it's body cream, face cream, in her teeth, in her ears, which she thinks is hilarious. Which is maybe why her immune system is so good. Anybody else that ate poo would be ill. Not Jade. School adore her. We were out in Morrison's a couple of weeks back. And there was a young man, don't know where he came from, hadn't seen him before. And he came up and gave her a bunch of flowers. He worked in there because we go in there, that's her favourite place, Morrison's on a Sunday. Because she brightens up his day by her smile when she comes in. I thought it was really nice. Because people can be really judgmental. Now she's older. Because she's really vocal, she makes a lot of screeching noises and hanging upside down and doing things she probably shouldn't be doing, nipping people's backsides going past. It's not me, it's Jade. So they can be. Old white-haired ladies, I find, are the worst. They'll pat your shoulder and they go, oh, my darling, she'll let these babies pass when they're born. And you think, well, you should be dead because you're old. So we've had yeah. But, yeah, she was generally more accepted when she was a baby out in the public. Young boys tend to be the ones that ask the most questions, and it's fine. They'll come up and oh, she's got no eyes. Why has she got no eyes? Well, she has. They're just very small. And you can see their parents just dying beside you, thinking, oh my God, don't say that. What are you going to say? But no, on the whole, she's been brilliant. She's got such a wicked sense of humour. She can make you laugh, and she'll remember her voice for years. She's had a teacher she's not seen in 6 years. We bumped into her recently, and she remembered her voice. And she knew she didn't like the eyes. So the first thing, her other party trick is blow food out of her nose. Inside, she's not quite wired up quite right. So she likes to blow it out her nose. And she always looks like Wurzel Gummidge because she blows the food out of her nose. And she rubs it all through her hair. She is very good at nipping. She's got razor blade fingers. Very good at taking a chunk out of you. Some of the, and now, who's it? Judy McFadden touched something earlier. When the new paediatrician took over, now Jade's bitten everybody she's been with, been near, and drawn blood. So 2 years ago when Gavin took over, we all had a mass panic because he said, should we ever been tested for HIV? Because of the symptoms with the constantly the nasally, the cysts on the back. And so we had a mass, oh my God, you know, we've had 12 years of her drawing blood of everybody she's met. Thankfully, She tested negative for that. Both parents were alcoholics, so she does have fetal alcohol syndrome as well. So I'm not sure how much in her is Patau and how much is fetal alcohol, because it's quite similar what they were saying the characteristics are like. But touch wood, health-wise, she's been, apart from the blip last year with Rigmore again, 5 days in, did nothing. I didn't think she was coming out. Her extremities were all dark purple. She was very, very ill, and they just didn't. Thankfully, the doctor on that night sent us home, and we saw the GP, and we got that rectified within 24 hours, 40 hours. She was back to her happy self. But she does tend to make everybody fall in love with her when they meet her, because she's such a wicked personality. Her taxi driver and her escort in the morning, they can't talk because she shouts at them the whole time, roaring and laughing. And she's taught the other 4 kids on the bus to do the same. So they now all screech. If Rob starts speaking, they start, and she starts laughing. And she's taught them all to strip. So quite often she comes home at night, she's got a nappy at the back of Rob's head. She's got her tights off. Harnesses are still on. She's got thigh harness, waist harness and top harness, but that's off. And her jumper's off and it's down. There's a boob tube. But she's got the other kids on the bus now stripping as well, which they think is hilarious. Or Rob will open the door and the other wee boy on the bus chucks his shoes out. So the lost shoes coming home and jackets and things. So she is. She knows what you're saying. Although she's not speaking, she signs. Food's her main thing. Food and her iPad. She loves music. Disney Frozen, Black Sabbath, Metallica. She'll go to sleep listening to all those things. Yeah. So she loves the beach, the park, swings, all that sort of stuff. But she is Houdini. Doesn't matter what harness you put her in, she will escape. And she sits there good as gold. But she's sussing out what's tying where, other than seconds. She's double jointed in all her joints, so she's got a wee gap up her neck. Get up in the morning, she's stripped. We've got the pyjama suit and stuff, everything's on back to front, and she's still stripped. Or the nappy will be off inside all that. She wears 2 nappies at night, one on forward and one on backwards. And she has both off by morning. She's just Jade. She sleeps in a safe space bed. But again, it's Jade's terms. But she can get herself the dinner out of bed. She goes to Nana's for apple crumble. And at the weekend, she will not get up before lunchtime, unless she says, or I tell her, we're going to Nana's for apple crumble. She's up, dressed, and out the door. But she's got her armchair at Nana's. When was on that, they'll get kicked off, and she sits with her feet up and Lady Muck. One of the nurses at the hospital said something that wasn't very nice. Then Jade gave one of her laughs. But she chased her around the ward, and she was going through her legs and her ankles and nipping and biting her. She thought it was just game on. You're not saying something nasty about me, I'll sort you out. So the understanding's there. It's just not coming out. She started with some switch work at school as well. So she switches yes and no, puts the fan on, makes herself known where she is. Getting respite has been a massive, massive problem because a lot of people are just not equipped. We're trying to get home help just now again, but they won't do it because she's not hoisted and not allowed to lift. So we're stuck in a mid-ground. We've got a huge hassle with OT and physio and stuff just now because I am still lifting her and I'm not supposed to be. There's nothing else you can do. Can't hoist her, so just have to. On the whole, she's been good. She has. I don't know if anybody wants to ask anything or wants to know anything.